So we stopped in verse 16 in the pseudepigrapha, and he says, and immediately we were made to grieve, since we had been deprived of so great glory. This is on page 262, by the way. And we were pained to see you in such bliss of delights. So with deceit I assailed your wife, and made you to be expelled through her from the joys of your bliss, as I have been expelled from my glory. So it gives some precepts for this, and there's one in Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15, and I'm going to read it to you right now. Isaiah, verse 12. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You've been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High, but you are brought down on the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. Another precept it gives is 2nd Enoch, chapter 29 and chapter 31, verses 4 and 3. And I'm going to be reading out of the Joseph B. Lumpkin edition, and this is all three books: the Ethiopic, the Slavonic, and the Hebrew book of Enoch. So in chapter 29 in the second book of Enoch, it says, and I'm going to start at verse 3 so you guys can have more context, but this is on page 192 of the second book of Enoch. It says, 3. And one from out of the order of angels, having violated the command he was given, conceived an impossible thought, to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, so that he might become equal in rank to my power. And I threw him out from the height with his angels, and he was flying in the air continuously above the bottomless abyss. And so, no, there's a note down here, and it says, we assume this ends the second day, although it is not mentioned. And the reason why he was in trouble is because he had made 10 troops of angels, and their weapons were fire, and their raiment a burning flame. And he had commanded that each one should stand in his order. So these were watcher angels. Okay, and this is chapter 31, verse 3, and it says, and he was continuously in paradise, and the devil understood that I wanted to create another world, because Adam was Lord on earth, to rule and control it. Okay? And so it sounds to me like a lot of jealousy was going on, but I'm about to pull out the seal portion and give you a little bit more context. So this is chapter 5 and the seal portion on page 11, and I'm going to start at verse 4, and it talks about the estates that we are in, like spiritually what we were in, and physically what we would go through, right? So 4, behold, the first estate of all beings is that in which they were created as spirits, and it is this estate in which the brother of Jared found himself in his vision. And the second estate which he has written is a state in which we are now upon this earth. And this second estate is a time of probation for all the spirits of the children of God, to see if they were willing to do all things whatsoever they are commanded to do by the Lord. And it is also a state in which all spirits shall prove to themselves that the degree of glory in the kingdom of God to which they belong is justifiable. And it shall be proven unto them to be the only place where they can find a fullness of joy according to the happiness that each of them desires. For behold, all spirits are taught the laws that govern the different degrees of glory in the kingdom of God. And each spirit knows at the time the Father presents the examples of his kingdom before them, which degree of glory best suits their desires for happiness, having thus determined these desires while growing up and progressing as a spirit being. And the laws and happiness of the celestial glory are shown unto them, and also the laws and happiness of the terrestrial and celestial kingdoms are also shown unto them, and each spirit recognizing that which he desires to make him or her happy. Nevertheless, to the terrestrial and celestial glories there are eternal penalties affixed, thus distinguishing them from the glory of the celestial, which has no penalty affixed to it. And the penalty of the terrestrial glory is that the inhabitants thereof will not have the power of creation, In other words, they will have no ability to experience posterity, having not the body that can create these beings. Yes, there will be no male or female among them, having no need for the different sexes, and no need for those relations that are enjoyed by a man and a woman in the course of creation or creating a new life. And those of this glory will not have the knowledge or the power to create other worlds or the animals. Forgive me, my husband pulled up. But where were we? No need for those relations that are enjoyed by a man and a woman in the course of creating a new life. And those of this glory will not have the knowledge or the power to create other worlds, or the animals or the plant life that is necessary to produce life in these other worlds. Nevertheless, they will have exceedingly great joy and live peacefully one with another, having no concern for their well-being, having all things provided for them from the administration of those in the celestial glory. And these will also administer to their own needs and find much joy and pleasure therein. And these are those who are the majority of the spirits of the children of men. And those who inherit the celestial glory will receive a penalty like unto that received by those in the terrestrial glory, even that they will have no power of creation or the blessings that will go with this power. Nevertheless, they will forever live with the realization that they belong to the order of a celestial glory, which is the lowest order of the kingdom of God. And this, because of their very selfish natures and desires, and this is the penalty affixed to the celestial glory, even this knowledge that will burn in their breasts forever. Nevertheless, these also shall experience exceedingly great joys, which joys we are accustomed to feeling in our second estate, or in the world in which we live, but they shall live without the sorrows that we presently experience during the days of our probations, like hunger, cold, thirst, just different things, sickness. So let's start at 17. And it came to pass that as the Father presented this plan of salvation to his spirit children, one of them stood up and questioned the Father, and wondered why it should be that all spirits should not have the full blessings of the celestial glory like unto the Father. This is Satan. This is the reason why he got expelled, but he said a different reason. No. So, well, I guess this is the way he understood it, maybe, that he was supposed to worship us, right? And this spirit was a great one among those that the Father had created, and his name was Lucifer, he being a spirit who was the firstborn of his eternal mother and a leader among the spirits. And Lucifer questioned the Father, saying, O my Father, forgive the boldness of my words, and allow me the agency that thou hast granted unto all thy creations, which is free will. For behold, there are many among us that know that they will not become gods, and have thus accepted their place in your kingdom and the glories that will bring them their chosen happiness, but to which certain penalties have been affixed. And now, my Father, why is it that these must suffer so, and not become as you are, and also as our mothers are, powerful and blessed with the ability to have posterity and the joys that you enjoy in your kingdom? We know that you are God, and thou hast the power to give these things unto us, if it so be your desire. I'm putting regular words that we understand into thy and thou, just so you guys understand. And you have spoken unto us of our probation, and have shown us examples of the pain and suffering that we must go through during the days of this probation. And I ask of you, why is it necessary that we must suffer so, seeing that we already realize which glory in the eternal kingdom is most satisfactory unto us? Is it not possible that you can create our eternal bodies for us and prepare the worlds in which we can live, and give these things unto us without suffering and without passing through so much affliction and sorrow? 24. And when Lucifer had spoken these words unto the Father, many of the other spirits began to voice their concerns unto the Father. Also, even so much that there arose a mighty contention among the spirits who had gathered to hear the words of the Father. Some precepts for this is Romans chapter 16, verses 17 through 18, and Proverbs chapter 28, verses 25, and chapter 29, verses 22.